following video is not made for kids. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello to my subscribers, this is the TFangi coming to you with what will hopefully be a successful review. And tonight we're going to be taking a look at a Transformers figure that I actually got last year, but it's been a long time for me to come around to reviewing it. But here it is, the Transformers Collaborative X-Men Ultimate X-Spanse. I'm going to just say this right off the bat. That name, Ultimate X-Spanse, it's a very lackluster name in my feel for this Transformers figure, but I can understand why Hasbro did it so. Ultimate X-Spanse is a brand new Transformers character like most of the collaborative Transformers figures, and Ultimate X-Spanse is done to celebrate the, I believe it's the 30th anniversary of the 1990s X-Men cartoon series, and that's why this style of packaging looks like this. It's designed to have the same style of packaging that the X-Men line of action figures back in the 1990s had, and all the way down to the text on the box, and there you can see you even got Marvel Comics right there. So Ultimate X-Spanse is a brand new Transformers character that has the X-Men's X-Jet for a vehicle mode. You can see you got some artwork right here of Ultimate X-Spanse in his robot mode. And he comes for accessory pieces. He's got 3 little accessory pieces right here. And then you got 2 little figurines of the 2 Marvel Comics characters, Wolverine and Sabretooth. And I have to say this right now before continuing with the review. I'm not into Marvel Comics as much as I am into DC Comics, so I don't have too much knowledge on the X-Men characters. That said, I have seen and watched multiple times the live-action X-Men films that star Sir Patrick Stewart as Professor Xavier and Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. So I do have a decent idea of the X-Men characters. So yeah, here on the top of the box you've got, sorry for the glare on my camera, you got some product photos here. There's Ultimate X-Spanse in his vehicle mode of the X-Jet, and in his robot mode. And it's come to my attention that more X-Men fans who are into the X-Men more than Transformers have pointed out that Ultimate X-Spanse is a mashup of at least 3 characters from the Marvel comic books. He's a mashup of Psylocke, Wolverine, and Cyclops. He's got a pair of claws that Wolverine has. He's got, I believe, the sword is Psylocke, one of Psylocke's weapons, and then he's got the same visor covering his eyes that Cyclops has. And then, in addition to that, those 3 X-Men members, I've also joked that Ultimate X-Spanse is also a mashup of Professor Xavier, since he has an X right there in the middle of his chest, and also he has one thing taken from the X-Men character Colossus due to his enormous size, and I'll show that off when we get into Ultimate X-Spanse's robot mode, because this is one of the tallest, if not the tallest, leader class Transformers figure that was released last year in 2021. And I can't really show it right now because it's in the other figure is in its box, but I saw where someone took a photo of Ultimate X-Spanse, and in his robot mode, this figure is slightly taller than Studio Series Grimlock. So for those of you who have collected the Studio Series Grimlock figure and you have not gotten this Transformers figure, this is even taller than Grimlock is. Here on this side of the box you've got Wolverine and Sabretooth from the X-Men cartoon series. You got Ultimate X-Spanse, and it's a drawing of him of what he would look like in the X-Men comic books. In the bottom of the box, you got the authentic Transformers logo, pretty basic stuff. Here on the back of the box, you've got, again, the same product photos. You've got the vehicle mode of the X-Jet, Ultimate X-Spanse in his robot mode. He transforms back and forth between both modes in 34 steps, and again, he comes with 2 little figurines of Wolverine and Sabretooth right there. And for those of you wondering, Ultimate X-Spanse is a heavy retool of the Studio Series Revenge of the Fallen Leader Class Jetfire figure. I do not have that figure, so I will not be able to do a size comparison of Ultimate Expanse with the figure he's retooled from. But all in all considering the Transformers action figure that Hasbro used to make a figure of the X-Jet, I think it's a pretty decent thing that they did. One thing to note is that on all of the collaborative figures, and I forgot to show this off in Maverick's review, right here on the back of the box you've got logos from all the companies that came together to make the collaborative Transformers figures. So Hasbro worked in part with Marvel, teamed up with Marvel Comics and Lockheed Martin, who owns the rights to the type of jet fighter craft that the X-Jet is based on, which is the SR-71 Blackbird, which is what Revenge of the Fallen Jetfire transforms into. The Blackbird, for those of you who don't know, holds the title of being the world's first ever stealth aircraft. It was built way back in the 1960s, before other models of stealth aircraft even existed. So yes, those are the companies that Hasbro and also Takara Tomy worked with to turn the X-Men X-Jet into a new Transformers character. And oddly enough, Marvel Comics is owned by Walt Disney, yet the Disney logo does not appear on here at all. So I think the deal that Hasbro and Marvel worked out with was putting Marvel's logo on here but not Disney's. I can't remember if Disney owned Marvel Comics when the 1990s X-Men cartoon series came out, or if Marvel was still an independent company at the time. I know Disney bought Marvel during the 1990s, when Marvel Comics filed for bankruptcy. So it's pretty interesting to see that there. So without further delay, let's get Ultimate Expanse out of the box and take a close look at him in his jet mode. Alright, so here is Ultimate Expanse out of his box, and yes, just like the other collaborative figures that I own, I got 2 copies of Ultimate Expanse, and I found both of them on clearance. I apologize for not getting around to actually reviewing Ultimate Expanse when I got him last year. It was still fresh in my mind at the time when I got Ultimate Expanse how much money I paid for him. I believe I paid $40 for this copy of Ultimate Expanse off of Target's website, and then the second copy I paid $45 the copy I still have in the box. I paid $45 for that figure at GameStop. But yeah, here is Ultimate Expanse in his vehicle mode of the X-Jet. He looks very He's very impressive looking. I really enjoy how the jet mode came out. Again, I don't have the Studio Series Jetfire figure, so Ultimate Expanse is the only version of the mold that I have, but it is pretty accurate to how the X-Jet looked in the X-Men cartoon series, going off of photos I browsed across on the internet. So, yeah, pretty much the Ultimate Expanse, the X-Jet, is a blue version of the SR-71 Blackbird. You got bright yellow vibrant paint here on the intake vents, and you got the X-Men symbol here on the wings. And this is the only gripe that people have been having with Ultimate Expanse, is that even more so than Revenge of the Fallen Jetfire, these wings are on very tiny hinge joints, and so they flop down at a moment's notice. And this is true on both wings on this copy of Ultimate Expanse that I have. He does have landing gear. He does have 3 sets of landing gear, but here I just deployed the top one right here because I had him propped up in vehicle mode before I started the review, so you can flip that up, and now here he is in full flight mode. The 2 landing gear on the back, and you can see there's one right there and there's the other one. You can deploy them in jet mode while he has his accessory pieces on there, but they tend to get in the way, so there's the accessory pieces that Ultimate Expanse comes with. If you got an energy sword, again, I don't know which member of the X-Men used this sword. I thought I saw X-Men fans point out that it was a sword created by Psylocke. I could be wrong. And then of course you got a pair of Wolverine's claws. These weapons are I believe the reason why they're made out of clear rubbery pink rubber. But it's not even solid. It's not even hard solid plastic. These are, as you can see right here, this is rubber. Is what these accessory pieces are made of. I believe they're designed to be clear pink to show that They're forms of energy created by Psylocke. So you can make an argument that Ultimate Expanse's deployable weapons are made out of energon, if you are so inclined to do so. So yeah, there's the sword and the claws. So, just like Revenge of the Fallen Jetfire, unfortunately, in jet mode, Ultimate Expanse, he's basically a robot folded up underneath a SR-71 Blackbird, or jet. But all things considered, I can overlook the fact that the entirety of the robot mode is on the underside of the jet, because from looking at it from above on an aerial view, it does look pretty impressive looking. And again, as I've already said, Ultimate Expanse is enormous. I'm bringing him pointing him up, having him pointing upward like he's ready to launch. If I get too close here, he doesn't stay on camera too well. So, for a quick size comparison with a more familiar, earlier a Transformers figure, that's a jet. Here is Ultimate Expanse next to the Siege Tetrajet. This is the Netflix Sparkless bot. So as you can see right here, Ultimate Expanse is a pretty enormous action figure. And again, as I said at the beginning of the review, I saw a photo someone took where Ultimate Expanse is slightly taller than Studio Series Grimlock. So Ultimate Expanse, I believe, holds the title of being the physically tallest Leader Class Transformers figure that was released last year in 2021. And so yes, all in all, despite its flaws such as the floppy wings and the robot mode being under the jet, making the figure not much of a robot in disguise, I can forgive that due to the sheer enormity of Ultimate Expanse. And Ultimate Expanse, I believe he now holds the title of being the physically largest individual collaborative Transformers figure. And what I mean is that in the Jurassic Park 2-pack, if Tyrannicon Rex and JP93, the two Transformers figures in the Jurassic Park set, if they had been released individually, then Ultimate Expanse would hold the title of being the largest collaborative Transformers figure ever. He's the largest individual one because he is physically larger than Tyrannicon Rex and also the other two, the two Voyager class collaborative figures, Ectotron and Maverick, who I reviewed last week. But yeah, so even though I'm not much of a fan of the X-Men and I'm not into Marvel Comics, when I found Ultimate Expanse going on clearance sale, I decided to get him. Ultimate Expanse was originally released exclusively at Target stores last year in 2021. He originally had a retail price tag of $65, and most Transformers fans and collectors weren't willing to spend that amount of money on this figure, but then after a couple of months, Target decided to put Ultimate Expanse on clearance, and now I remember the price that I paid for him. So Target, on their website, target.com, sold Ultimate Expanse for 50% off of his original retail price. So I paid $32.50 for Ultimate Expanse. So for under $33, that was a decent price to get this figure for. And then again, as I said a moment ago, the second copy of Ultimate Expanse that I still have in the box, I got that version I got it at a GameStop store or for $40. So if you do find Ultimate Expanse brand new in the box, if you can find him for under $50 at the most, I do recommend and paying that price, but not more, but definitely not more than that. So that being said, I'm going to transform Ultimate Expanse off camera because since he is a retool of Studio Series Revenge of the Fallen Jetfire, Ultimate Expanse has the most difficult transformation out of all the collaborative Transformers figures. It's the same as transforming Revenge of the Fallen Jetfire, and for those of you who are familiar with the Revenge of the Fallen version of Jetfire, it is not an easy Transformers figure to transform. It's one of the more difficult ones. And so, hopefully it won't take me too long. Let's do this off camera. I'll see if I can time myself and see how far I get before I'm finished. So, we will be right back and take a look at Ultimate Expanse in his very tall and colossal robot mode. Alright, and so before we actually get into Ultimate Expanse, here is a close-up of those Wolverine and Sabretooth little figurines. They're permanently posed like this. There's no articulated joints found in them at all, so it is a little depressing to see that happen there. Unfortunately, the third energy piece that was taken from Psylocke, I accidentally lost it in the year since I got this figure. There it is, right there in the box. That little clear piece right there. In the Marvel Comics, Psylocke, that's actually what she sends out from her eyes when she sends out psychic energy. Here on these figures, the only place to attach it is around Wolverine's waist and have it look like he's wearing a energy belt. There's no way of attaching it to Ultimate Expanse. But at least the other two accessory pieces that come with him, you can attach. So without further delay, here is Ultimate Expanse transformed into his robot mode. And I timed myself, it took me 15 minutes. And it's even knowing where all the pieces went and what I was doing. It took 15 minutes to get all the parts to lock into place. And this is one of the main gripes I have with Ultimate Expanse, is that right here, a swivel joint is what it's attaching the upper and see if I can lift his arm without showing it off. Right here, the upper and lower halves of the torso. Right there at the robot mode pelvis, they're held on this tiny swivel joint. I don't know if that's recycled from the Revenge of the Fallen Jetfire, the original version of this mold. Also, it is a tad unfortunate, but because the upper torso doesn't lock into the robot mode pelvis, the entire upper half of Ultimate Expanse's body, it wobbles left to right very easily. If you don't actually touch Ultimate Expanse and you leave him posed like this, he can be very stable, but if you were to try and do a stop motion video of him, and chances are he could flop to the opposite side from where you had him posed when you took your previous photographs. So be careful if you decide to make a stop motion video of this figure. But yeah, here is Ultimate Expanse in his robot mode. Again, he's officially a three-way mashup of three members of the X-Men: Psylocke, Wolverine, and Cyclops. There's the goggles here on his face, and if you want to, you can lift the goggles up, and there is Ultimate Expanse's eyes. He does have an actual fully humanoid face with a pair of eyeballs behind the visor. So the visor can flip up and down, so that's a really neat gimmick that Ultimate Expanse has. And again, there's the X-Men chest nest in the center of him. I don't believe it's designed to open up. It's just all one piece. But yeah, it's pretty impressive looking there that he has that X, and so that's why I believe, in addition to Wolverine, Cyclops, and Psylocke, Ultimate Expanse is also a mashup of Professor X and also Colossus, due to how tall he is. So since I keep going on about just how tall of a figure Ultimate Expanse actually is, for a size comparison with another leader class Transformers figure, here he is next to Kingdom Galvatron. So yeah, this guy is enormous. He is beefy, he is tall, he is massive. Ultimate Expanse is, I believe, the height-wise, he rivals the old Prime Wars Trilogy leader class Transformers figures. Just like in my review of Maverick, I showed off that Maverick was the same height as the old school Voyager class Transformers figures in terms of overall height. It's the same here with Ultimate Expanse. He's right up there with the leader class figures that were released in the Prime Wars Trilogy lines of Combiner Wars, Titans Return, and Power of the Primes in terms of overall height. So yeah, he is massive. I'm having to hold him pretty far away from the camera to keep him in full screen view. So yeah, you definitely get your money's worth when you buy Ultimate Expanse. And especially if you find him for the same price I did, under $40. Ultimate Expanse is definitely worth that price due to how enormous he is. That said, one of the deterrents for Ultimate Expanse is loose joints in his robot mode, loose wings in his jet mode. As you can see, it's flopping around right there as I'm trying to hold on to him. So for the proverbial question, do I recommend getting Ultimate Expanse and adding him to your Transformers collection? I have to say, honestly, yes. Even though I originally passed on Ultimate Expanse because I wasn't willing to pay his original retail price tag of $65, since I was able to get him on clearance at Target 50% off and I paid under $33 for him, he is definitely worth that price. So I do highly recommend getting Ultimate Expanse if you didn't get him last year when he was first released. I believe he's still available on GameStop's website for $45. But yes, I really do recommend getting Ultimate Expanse. And it's, even though the gripes I have with him, such as the loose joint that connects his torso to his robot mode pelvis, makes him swivel from side to side, and he has the loose joints from his jet mode, I can overlook those loose joints and loose parts on him due to just how enormous he is. And he's got the gimmick, he's got all sorts of references to the X-Men on here. So yes, I highly recommend getting Ultimate Expanse if you can get him. And again, he is the physically tallest of the collaborative Transformers figures, and from the photos I've seen, he does hold the title of being the physically tallest leader class Transformers figure that was released last year in 2021. So yeah, I apologize for not being able to review him until almost a year after I originally purchased him. But thank you guys all so much for watching. This has been my review of the Transformers X-Men Collaborative Ultimate Expanse figure. I definitely recommend getting him if you can. So thank you to all my subscribers for your continued support. Remember, you guys, stay safe, stay healthy. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, you guys, transform and roll out. Goodbye, everyone.